How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I wanted to talk about pink cloud syndrome. Now this is something that I think is for people who have quit any drug, right, including alcohol or any other drug, right? And it's basically when people get an emotional high once they've stopped drinking for a long time. You know, they get a buzz. Now, one of the things about drinking alcohol or taking any drug is that the longer you take the drug, the more you become emotionally anesthetized, right? So a lot of your emotions are suppressed because you're drinking, right? A lot of people drink because they want to suppress their emotions, and many emotions are they're sort of suppressed, not deliberately, but because of the drug. You know, you drink alcohol when you're feeling happy. You drink it when you're feeling like you want to celebrate. You know, you drink it in different areas of your life. You know, one of the problems is that, you know, your emotions start to become intertwined with the alcohol, you know, so especially those happiness emotions and stuff. The rest of them, you know, you find a lot of your emotions become suppressed because as soon as you feel an emotion coming up, you drink to suppress it. And eventually those emotions do become suppressed. You stop being able to feel a lot of these things, you know. I only realized this when I stopped drinking alcohol, you know. I mean, you know, I've drank at certain times in my life, right, when I tried to suppress emotions and, you know, it just doesn't work. Like, for instance, when my wife died, I tried to suppress that emotion and, you know, there was no way. That emotion is just too raw, it's too deep, and, you know, it's just such a big emotion, grief, that, you know, it's impossible to suppress it. And, you know, it does dampen it a bit. It dampens the overall feel, you know. But I think a lot of my grief was to do with the fact that I was a drinker anyway, you know. A lot of the pain that I felt, you know, I couldn't deal with it any other way. I didn't know how to deal with it any other way. So I did drink a lot, and I think that, you know, it just suppressed a lot of it, but it made a lot of it worse, you know. It made the process of grieving last a lot longer than it should have done. But as I say, you know, sometimes your emotions, it takes a long time before these emotions start to reappear after you've quit drinking. Not too much time, you know. Like, I think once you get over the fact that you don't need alcohol to have fun, and that you can get out there and you do go out there and you take the actions to push yourself out and to have that fun, then you start to realize that you can have much more fun without alcohol. You know, you can have much more happiness, you know, without having to drug yourself up. And that the alcohol was, although it had an appearance of giving you fun, it's a type of fun that you lose over time. It diminishes over time. It's like, you know, the fun diminishes so slowly that it's, you know, that's why they say that alcohol is so insipid, is because it takes over very, very slowly. It doesn't take over overnight, you know. It's not like some of the other drugs that are out there that, you know, you really feel that you're going downhill very quickly once you're taking these drugs. But with alcohol, it's a very slow process because, you know, that's part of the insipid nature of alcohol, is that it does take a long time before you realize that certain things are happening, you know. It takes a long time before you know, it's a slow burning thing, you know. The happiness that you feel before you start drinking, that doesn't disappear straight away. It starts to happen very slowly, you know. And when we start drinking at the beginning, we're using alcohol as a tool in order to help us to overcome certain things in ourselves that we haven't yet learned the skills of, right? Socializing, for instance, or not being shy, or that kind of thing, you know. So we use alcohol as a way of sort of dampening down those in order to lift up the other part of ourselves. You know, and over time, the happiness levels drop. So you don't realize how much your happiness levels have been affected, right? And it's only when you stop and you get away from it and you start having fun, real fun, outside of alcohol, that you start to understand how much alcohol was actually suppressing you and suppressing your fun. And I think this is part of the pink cloud syndrome. Now, I don't like this word pink cloud syndrome, right? Its happiness for me is going back to my previous levels of happiness, of finding different levels of happiness and understanding myself how alcohol has been suppressing me, right? And that's just a natural happiness that you have in you. So to actually give it a name, a syndrome, right, for another thing, just makes me laugh. It's just one of these things that people they love to do. They love to say, yeah, I've been sober for so long, I'm in recovery. All these alcohol terms, right? I think they're more damaging than anything else. As I say, move yourself as far away and as quickly from the alcohol as you can, right? And move yourself into your new life as quickly and as speedily and as totally as you can. And that means going away from these terms like pink cloud syndrome or post-alcohol withdrawal syndrome, or any of those types of things, right? You want to try and move yourself as fast as you can away from those things. Don't create more obstacles than you have in the first place. I understand all of this. I understand where it's coming from. It's for people who get onto this cloud nine and they think that they're so happy now and they've overcome all the problems, that they think that they can go back to drinking alcohol, that they've got control over it, right? Or going back to a drug, that they've got control over it. For me, it's sort of like saying, yeah, he's a dry drunk, that kind of a feeling. Somebody's still attaching you to the alcohol, and probably somebody who's still taking alcohol, right? Still drinking this stuff, is saying that about you. Oh yeah, but you're a dry drunk. I've heard that said about me a few times, that my happiness is because I'm a dry drunk, how bad is that? But it's somebody else's perception. What I'm saying is that, if you've got a reason why, you've got your reason why you're doing this firmly in your brain, right? You've got it at the forefront of your mind, and what you're aiming towards, then you shouldn't need any of these things, You shouldn't need to any happiness that you've got is because you're moving forwards, right? That alcohol is a part of your past, right? This is something which, this is why I say, try and move yourself into a position, right, where you cannot go backwards, right? That that if you take a drink again, right, if you try and push yourself back into that lifestyle again, that you are going to be ruining everything that you've worked for, all the hard work that you've put in is going to be in vain. And once you understand that about this whole journey, that alcohol has been suppressing you, suppressing your emotions, suppressing your life, suppressing all the good things that you wanted to do in your life. Alcohol is largely responsible for a lot of that suppression. And B, that if all the hard work that you're putting into achieving something good in your life, once you've stopped drinking alcohol, that if you go back to that behavior, that all that suppression is going to start all over again, and maybe even worse, right? So remember that what you focus on is what you get, right? Focus on your future. Focus on what it is out there in your future that you want to get a hold of, the person that you want to be, right? The life that you want to live, right? Focus on the goals that you want to achieve in life, and focus on your big reason why. Once you have that big reason why firmly placed in your head, and it's firmly there in front of everything that you do, then you'll never go back, So, pink cloud syndrome, I don't get it. It's happiness for me. I just feel, I don't feel over the moon most of the time, but I feel over the moon much of the time, which is a lot to be said for the way I was before I stopped drinking. Look, I'll stop it there. If you have any questions, I'll leave them down below in the comments. Any questions at all, any topics about that you'd like to see videos made about, come on over to the website if you want to sign up for our Alcohol Mastery Starter Pack, Quit Drinking Starter Pack. It's got a lot of different videos and other materials in there to help you start off your journey. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, onwards and upwards. Take care, bye now.